1941, after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, Roosevelt created the Office of Scientific Research and Development, otherwise known as OSRD, to bring scientists into the war effort. The OSRD urged improvements in radar and sonar, new technologies for locating submarines underwater. It encouraged the use of pesticides like DDT to fight insects. As a result, U.S. soldiers were probably the first in history to be relatively free from body lice. The OSRD pushed for the development of miracle drugs such as penicillin, which saved countless lives.
However, the most significant achievement that the OSRD gained notoriety for was the secret development of a new weapon, the atomic bomb. Interest in such a weapon began in 1939, after German scientists succeeded in splitting uranium atoms, releasing an enormous amount of energy. This news prompted famous physicist and German refugee Albert Einstein to write a letter to President Roosevelt, warning that the Germans could use their discovery to construct a weapon of enormous destructive power.
After some discussion with the economist Alexander Sachs, Roosevelt decided it was necessary to begin research on nuclear power, and he set up the Advisory Committee on Uranium, with Lyman J. Briggs as its head. The committee reported that it would take 3 to 5 years to build an atomic bomb. Hoping to shorten that time, the OSRD set up an intensive program in 1942 to develop a bomb as quickly as possible.
The next 2 years were troubled with uncertainty, because no one was sure how much uranium was needed, how much bomb construction would cost, or how much time the U.S. even had to complete a functional weapon. On top of this, researchers were still unsure with how to properly extract uranium. Progress sped up with the help of Vannevar Bush, chairman of the National Defense Research Committee and director of the Office of Scientific Research and Development, when in July 1941 Bush received the Maud Report. This was the British's own version of a nuclear weapon plan. England's theoretical contributions to the bomb were invaluable, and the report ensured many who read it that a nuclear bomb by enriching uranium would definitely be possible. Bush set several research groups into motion with much more funding than ever before. Secrecy was still the top priority, though, despite the extra money. Because of this, scientists picked strange locations in order to conceal their efforts. Many were given simple housing in New Mexico to remain unnoticed. The Manhattan Project was enveloped in so much secrecy that some people actually didn't even know the nature of their work until they heard the news of the bomb exploding over Hiroshima a few years later. 2 types of nuclear bombs were designed at Los Alamos, an implosion bomb and a gun-triggered bomb. After major improvements were made on the implosion device, a site was finally chosen to test the first nuclear bomb. A desert range about 210 miles south of Los Alamos was nicknamed Trinity for the testing of a plutonium bomb design. The success of the testing only meant one thing.
On August 6, 1945, Paul Tibbets, pilot of the B-29 airplane named the Enola Gay, dropped an atomic bomb over Japanese city of Hiroshima. Nicknamed Little Boy, the bomb created an explosion equivalent to 15,000 tons of TNT, destroying nearly every building within a mile of ground zero and creating a massive firestorm that eventually engulfed the city.
It's believed that 70,000 citizens died immediately after the blast, but the eventual death total may have reached as many as 100,000 by the end of 1945, and 200,000 after 5 years due to the effects of radiation.
Just 3 days later, on August 9th, a second bomb was dropped on the industrial city of Nagasaki. Nicknamed Fat Man, the second bomb killed about 40,000 people initially, and the death toll eventually reached 140,000.
These tactics forced Japan into surrender, ending World War II. The Manhattan Project succeeded, but this wouldn't be the last time that atomic bombs would be brought into the picture, as this would soon lead to the nuclear arms race.
This is what I brought you, this you can keep. This is what I brought you, may forget me. I promise to depart, just promise one thing. Kiss my eyes and lay me to sleep.